I've changed my mind on something recently, and it's going to be to do with deloading. Now, it's one of the most boring subjects in the whole entire world, but when you're going for a deload, it's like the only thing you can really talk about or even think about. Obviously, you can think about your next phase of training, but yeah, it kind of, I think in a deload, because you've got more time to kind of think. So when I'm thinking, I'll just pick up the camera and just talk. So when we talk about deloading, and I think I made a vlog about it kind of a while ago, regarding like how to deload and the most optimal way to deload, and I just don't think, I think my opinion's changed, or I don't think my opinion has changed. My opinion has changed on that situation. The general consensus with a deload is to dissipate fatigue, and it is to kind of just get you set for the next mesocycle. Now, the kind of general way of doing this is to reduce your load by like 70%, train with like 5 reps in reserve, and then kind of go again. Now, that might be the best way to deload, right? That might be the best way to kind of just dissipate fatigue and then go into the next mesocycle. Do I think it's the only way? No. And do I think it's the best way for everybody? No. Now, what I've been doing for the last 3 mesocycles, and this is the third time I've basically done this, is a devolume style of week. Now, what that basically entails is I train to failure. I basically have 1 set of every exercise. I train to failure, and then for kind of 3 days, and then for 4 days I have a rest week, basically, so half and half. Then I go into the next mesocycle. I honestly, and I've deloaded in the traditional sense for probably about 3 years now. Before that, I can't say I've noticed much of a difference. So that's why my opinion has changed, because I've gone through the motions. I've had a certain kind of clients who basically like that way of kind of going about things. I can't say I've noticed much of a difference at all, like really. So we have like a few ways of deloading. We have a few ways of dissipating fatigue. We have a deload traditional sense, we have a devolume, and then we obviously have the rest week. Now again, the only thing that I would say with the rest week is that you haven't, like, it takes a little bit of getting into the mesocycle, into the groove of the mesocycle. So say for example you have your kind of mesocycle, you then have a rest week, you then go into the next mesocycle. The next mesocycle, it takes like 1 or 2 weeks to really get back going, and everything kind of feels a little bit heavy in that kind of first week. So this like devolume week has been like a game changer in that regard, because every time I take a rest week, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't really get it with this. So it's kind of the main reason I wanted to pick up the kind of camera and talk is because like there's going to be certain subjects that you change your mind on, and that's okay. And there's not one way to skin a cat. Like, you could do like a devolume style week, or you could be doing a deload right now and then be like, I really fucking hate deloading. Like, I just really don't like doing it. Obviously, like, devolume is a little bit nicer, but it's still like essentially you're training sub-maximally, so it's not great. Like, it's not the best. But it is what it is. It's almost like taking your medicine. You don't want to do it, but it will make you feel better, right? But the whole like notion is that, or the whole thing is, which I don't necessarily like in the evidence-based community right now, is like you number one can't change your mind, and number two, like, you can't look at anecdote. You have to look at like what's on a page of a study and everything else like that. And it's kind of like some of the things in like hypertrophy training you can't really study it. Like you just have to do it and then just see if you like it. And a lot of this game is going to be like trial and error. So like if you don't like deloading and you want to try something different, try it, and if you like it, fuck me, you've got a new way of doing things, right? But yeah, no, I think with hypertrophy training, I think a lot of it's like individualized until someone has a opinion against yours, then all of a sudden it's a debate. But anyway, here's my devolume style of week. Is literally this. It took me about half an hour. It was boring, but it's going to do the job in terms of dissipate fatigue, and then we're going into a new mesocycle. So yeah, cool. There's a vlog.